What's up, guys? Chris. Just got back from watching UFC 126, Silva Belfort. You know, we all were saying beforehand, stack card on paper. Pretty good event. I don't think it, maybe my expectations were really set high. The bar was high because of the lineup. Not all the fights went as good as, or were as good as I thought, but overall I think it was a solid event. Definitely punctuated by the main event, I would say, just because of the way it ended. Real quick, undercard, Donald Cerrone, Paul Kelly. Cerrone wins by rear naked choke. Wasn't looking too good in the first round. Cerrone getting hit quite a bit, but he came back in the second. Once he got to the floor, it was pretty much over. So good win for Cowboy. Kid Yamamoto, Demetrius Johnson. Expected a more exciting fight. Demetrius Johnson fought a safe fight, smart fight. Used his wrestling when needed to, in and out. I said his style kind of reminded me of Frankie Edgar's, for better or worse. But Johnson gets a win. Yamamoto didn't really look like anything special in that fight compared to his prime. So, hopefully Yamamoto gets another chance against a opponent that's better suited to his style. But either way, good one for Demetrius Johnson. Chad Mendes, Michiro Mugawa. This fight was a little bit better than I thought. I thought Mendes was just mostly rely on the lay and pray, but did some pretty good striking. Busted up on Mugawa's face in the striking. Mugawa never quit trying. Was very aggressive, but just really couldn't get the better of it, even on the standing. I was surprised that Chad was able to outstrike him, but Chad did and got the win. So Money Mendez moves up that ladder at featherweight. Pay-per-view television, or a portion of the card, I should say. Miguel Torres, Antonio Banuelos. Now, this is one of the fights that fans, myself included, would thought be one of the better fights of the night. Not so much. Miguel Torres is a guy that when he first started out in the WEC, very go for broke type fighter at all times. I want to say reckless, but just really all out, balls out type of fighter. But ever since he started training with Farad Zahabi up in there in Canada, TriStar, getting a little bit more conservative, and I think that was the case here. He had a huge advantage in the size and strength, reach, but aside from using his jab, which he used effectively at times, he just never really went for it. In Banuelos, I don't know what he was doing. At the end of the rounds, he would go for flurries, and he actually would be kind of able to get inside and land some punches, but otherwise he was staying on the outside where he had absolutely no chance. So just not nearly as much sustained action in this battle as I thought. I thought Miguel Torres would be more aggressive, and I thought Banuelos would go for it more, but either way, Miguel gets a win, and Banuelos probably get cut after that performance. Jake Ellenberger, Carlos Aguada, Roca, whatever you want to call it. Man, the first round of this fight was awesome. A lot of grappling. Roca, or let's just say Carlos, was aggressive with jiu-jitsu, going for submissions. Ellenberger showed some good submission defense. Really, just a lot of scrambles. This first round of this fight was really exciting, especially if you're a fan of the ground game. But after that, not so much. I think Ellenberger learned after that first round, best to play it safe, keep it on the feet if he could, which he could with his wrestling, wrestling base. And just didn't really want to get overly aggressive with the strikes. I guess, didn't want to get careless and get taken down to the ground. The second and third rounds weren't nearly as entertaining as the first, mostly on the feet. Not a whole lot of action. I think Ellenberger got the better of it, and, Ellenberger ends up winning a decision, rightfully so. Ryan Bader, John Jones. It's a big fight. Fans will look forward to it. I don't want to say it went as I expected to. I did expect Jones to win, but thought Bader would be able to get a little more in there. Thought he'd be able to get at least one or two takedowns. Wasn't able to. Jones just used that speed advantage and his athleticism advantage to really befuddle Bader. On the feet, he was able to control him. Surprisingly, he was able to get takedowns on Bader throughout the fight while it lasted. And, it was working for a submission early in the first. Didn't get it, but of course in the second round went back to it and was able to win by a choke. And, I think the big news obviously coming out of this fight is Rashad Evans apparently blew out his knee. They offered in the post-fight interview, Joe Rogan, I guess they said, John Jones, if you'd like to fight against the title shot against Mauricio Shogun Rua in March, I believe, it's yours. And Jones, he took it. He accepted. Not a lot of time to prepare for Shogun. And, I mean, I don't know how much another fight before would really benefit Jones or not. Who knows, right? Another test. But unless he proves me wrong, it's hard for me to favor Jones at this point. He's just so young in his career, man. I know Shogun's overcoming injuries and layoffs again, but, I mean, I don't see Jones submitting Shogun on the ground. And it's hard for me to see, aside from having such a huge size advantage, and I don't even know how big of a size advantage he has against Shogun, it's hard for me to see him getting the better of it against Shogun. Although Jones is flashy and very quick, Shogun he's got some pretty good Muay Thai technique standing. But I will say this, I definitely anticipate this fight, and I look more forward to this fight, Jones versus Shogun, than I would have Rashad versus Shogun. So Should be a good bout. One I'm definitely looking forward to, and I'm sure a lot of John Jones fans, who he has a lot of, are as well. Former champions, Forrest Griffin, Rich Franklin, pretty good bout. I thought that Forrest would win this fight, being the bigger fighter. Pretty much was the case. First round, definitely once he took Rich down, Rich wasn't able to do much from the bottom. Forrest, I thought this fight would remain standing the entire fight, but he didn't. Forrest kind of played it smart in the first round. Was able to control Rich from the top position. Rich couldn't really do a whole lot. Second round was pretty even round, striking back and forth. No one had a real advantage. Third round, I thought Rich really went for it, but once again, there were some good scrambles in the third round as well. Some good takedown attempts by both and trying to get each other down and almost getting each other, and just real good scrambles in the third round of this fight. But pretty evenly contested fight outside of the first round, but I think Forrest was just a little bit ahead the entire fight, just a little bit. And that first round definitely gave him a little bit of leeway. So Forrest Griffin wins unanimous decision, I think rightfully so. Like I said, I don't think he was necessarily so much better, but I just think his size and strength gave him that little bit of advantage, and he took advantage of it, So a good win for Forrest. I figured the winner of that fight would get the winner of Jones-Bader, but not the case. So maybe they'll give Forrest a rematch of Rampage if he beats Thiago Silva next, or give him Thiago Silva. Thiago can get past Rampage. On to the main event of the night, Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva. It's funny, I told my friend I was talking to his favorite fighter is Anderson. He said, "You want to bet?" And I said, "No, but if Vitor's going to win, it's going to be in the first round. If he doesn't win in the first, he's not winning." Well, as we all saw, this fight definitely ended in the first round, but didn't go so well for Vitor. First minute and a half filling out process was kind of frustrating, especially when Anderson starts doing those little dancy flash moves like he did against Damian Maia, where he could do something. He's not really being reluctant. He's just toying with his opponent, almost like a lion toying with its prey. And Vitor, I think, was just a little bit hesitant to let his hands go. Once he did, though, got some little brief exchanges, but even that just kind of gets your adrenaline flowing, like, whew, because you knew anything can happen at any moment. Got a little bit of space, and out of nowhere, Anderson Silva throws a front kick, and wow, on the money, just absolutely, just almost looked like it dislocated Vitor Belfort's head from his body. I mean, he looked like a bobblehead. But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I can't believe how stunned Vitor was from that kick. I mean, totally unexpected out of nowhere. Vitor falls to his back, and Anderson finishes him off with a couple of punches on the ground. What can I say? I mean, Anderson Silva, there's a reason why this guy is the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the sport by most. When he is on and he wins things like this, in fashions if you've never seen fights ended, it just goes to show you that this guy is one of the most talented, if not the most talented fighter in mixed martial arts. Just an unbelievable win. The way he did it, I'd never seen that. Anderson Silva, man, just a gifted fighter, and it was good to see him really, I guess you could say he went for it because he did. It's good to see Anderson Silva get a finish, though. Decisive win and a dominant win. If we had to feel bad for Vitor in a way, but that's the way the game goes. One man's got to win and one man's got to lose. And Anderson Silva showed, why his track record is so stellar and Vitor's is a bit spotty. Not that Vitor, any fighter could have done anything. I don't know if anyone would have either seen that kick coming or if they would have survived it, even if they would have. So, just an unbelievable finish by Anderson Silva. Just crazy. But anyways, that's it for now, guys. Want to hear your guys' thoughts on the event? Of course, the main event. You think Jones is ready for Shogun? Do any of you think he has a chance of beating Shogun? And what do you think of Forrest Franklin? What do you think they go next with Forrest Griffin? That's pretty much it for now. I will be talking about these fights, as always, tomorrow on the Science Fighting Radio Show, an hour earlier, because the Super Bowl is tomorrow as well. I'll put a link to the show in the information part of the video, as well as a link to my Twitter, as always. And till then, guys, I'm out. Enjoy the Super Bowl, if you watch. Even if not, enjoy the commercials, eating, getting down, whatever. But until next time, guys, I'm out of here.